In a heated committee debate, MPs voiced their frustration and criticized Rachel Reeves' new rule, expressing their concerns over its implications. This intense discussion highlights the divisions within the political landscape and the urgency of addressing key issues. Watch as lawmakers passionately confront the challenges posed by the proposed regulation.
Peter Fortune.
Thank you, Ms. Jolene. It's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, and I'd like to thank my right honourable friend for securing the debate. And I agree with nearly everything he said, the notable exception being, of course, that the constituency with the finest high streets is, of course, Bromley and Biggin Hill. And these high streets matter. They're the economic heart of our cities, towns and villages, supporting local jobs and serving, as my right honourable friend said, as a social hub for communities. When they're in decline or are struggling, communities feel it. There are not only fewer jobs and less cohesion locally, but a deep sense of loss. Shuttered shops and empty streets shatter civic pride. And while too many communities have seen their local high streets decline, we avoided mass closure during the pandemic thanks to generous public support. The retail, hospitality and leisure relief, which initially offered firms 100% relief on their business rates with a cap of up to 110,000, was one of those pivotal measures. It was a lifeline for many businesses and continued to be so through the energy crisis and subsequent inflation. And while it was intended as a temporary measure, the tax break remains crucial to the recovery of high streets and local growth. It is not yet time to rapidly reduce it. That's why the government's decision to reduce the relief from 75 to 40% is a huge blow. The change effectively doubles the business rates bill for retail, hospitality and leisure firms. And that's on top of the high energy costs and above target inflation, which are squeezing businesses. In my constituency, we're fortunate to have successful high streets, whether it's in Bromley Town Centre, which is home to over 700 businesses and supports 20,000 jobs, or the smaller parades in Hayes, Biggin Hill, Coney Hall, Bickley and Keston. However, they remain under pressure from rising costs, inflation and high energy prices. These same challenges are also squeezing consumer spending. It's precisely the wrong time to be rapidly reducing the business rates relief. For an independent pub in my constituency, with a rateable value of 98,000, the changes to the relief and the increase in the standard multiplier mean their tax bill is increasing by nearly £20,000. It's especially reckless, as this is not the only government policy impacting our high streets. In one swoop, ministers have also hiked the minimum wage, created swathes of new employment red tape, and introduced a substantial increase in national insurance contributions. All this combined means the government has mixed an expensive anti-business cocktail for our high streets that few businesses can afford. It will mean fewer jobs, less investment, and closures at a time when we want to grow our local economies. A penny off the pint was what the government boasted at last year's tax hiking budget. But behind that lacklustre announcement, they've not been honest about the collective impact of their policies, which are costing high street businesses an absolute fortune. If this government is serious about securing investment and growing the economy, it needs to rethink its decision to rapidly reduce this critical relief before it hollows out Britain's high streets and pulls down the shutters for good.
Lewis Cocking.
To serve under your chairmanship, and I congratulate my right honourable friend for securing this debate today. Across my constituency of Broxbourne, I've got 1,400 small businesses with a rateable value of less than £50,000. And I mean, today we're only discussing really the changes in business rates. I mean, there are lots of other decisions that the government has made, particularly employees, national insurance, energy costs not coming down, that will affect all of our high streets as well. So I mean, put it all together, and the cumulative impact across all of our high streets is absolutely devastating. I mean, lots of businesses I speak to in my constituency were absolutely horrified that the rate relief was dropped by 35% from 75% to 40%. And when I go out and about across Broxbourne and speak to business owners, a lot of them now are saying to me, what's the point? What's the point of me coming to work what's the point of me trying to run a small business in the town centre? What's the point of me creating growth, employing people? I mean, I was told at the dispatch box by a government minister that it was government that creates growth. Well, let me tell the government, it's not the government that creates growth. Government's job is to create the right environment for entrepreneurs and businesses to create growth. They go out day in, day out, go to work incredibly long hours when you're a business owner, and the government should try and de-risk that process. If we want people to open shops on our high streets, what the government should be doing, let's cushion some of those risks. When you start off your own business at home from a desk or a garage or what have you, to upscale that business is incredibly difficult and there's lots of risks involved. So with the government changing the business rates relief and slapping on more taxes for businesses, particularly in our town centres, why are you going to do that? I mean, I went to a secondary school in my constituency a couple of weeks ago to speak to A-level students that are doing a business T-level. Who all want to become entrepreneurs, who all want to go out there and create businesses and what have you. Well, we're not creating the right environment in this country for people to be able to become entrepreneurs. We heard lots in the general election campaign, we're going to be the most pro-business government that's ever taken power in the United Kingdom. But every decision that the government seems to have made since they've got in office is to slam down growth and to make it harder for people to be able to go out and do that across the constituency. I mean, I've got a business improvement district, Love Hoddesdon. I've got business owners in Love Cheshunt and Love Waltham Cross who constantly tell me whichever way they turn, it is incredibly difficult for them, and government aren't making it easy. Even when they're going through the business rates appeals process, they've not only got to pay the higher bills while that process takes place, that process takes months. Absolute months. They don't get any response from the Treasury. It's really difficult for them to be able to put appeals in and to submit their information. And it's just simply not good enough. And as I've said, lots of people are now starting to wonder, what's the point of me doing that? We should be pro-growth in this country. That's how the best form of welfare in this country is a well-paid job. And we're not allowing entrepreneurs to go out there to invest in their businesses, to create those job opportunities and to keep our high streets afloat. We all want to see successful high streets up and down the United Kingdom. And these policies that this government are bringing in is killing the high street. It is absolutely killing it. And the high streets... I will.
Thank you for allowing me to intervene. May I suggest that actually England is extraordinarily lucky with this position, because in Scotland we're not getting the business rate relief. There's none for retail, there's none for leisure, and there's hospitality, but only up to a certain bit. So thank the Lord you live in England.
I thank the honourable member for his intervention. And yes, the SNP needs to come up with some relief up in Scotland, because I wouldn't want to start a business. It's hard enough in England, let alone with what he's just outlined within Scotland. And look, the OECD has today downgraded its growth predictions for the United Kingdom. So the government needs to start acting on its rhetoric, as we heard before the general election. It said it was going to be pro-growth. No policies have come forward to support our high streets and been pro-growth. And the government should really stop trying to kill our high streets.
Sir Ashley Fox.
Ms Jardine, it's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship, and I thank my right honourable friend for securing this important debate today. Our high street shops and pubs are at the heart of our communities, yet many are threatened by big increases in business rates. And our high street businesses are already having to contend with Labour's new tax on jobs. The hike in national insurance makes it more expensive to employ someone who works in a shop or a pub on our high street. The Employment Rights Bill will further increase costs, hitting small businesses with new regulations that make it harder and more expensive to operate. It is in this context that the decision to cut the retail, hospitality and leisure business rate relief from 75% to 40% is wrong. I met recently with Mr Paul Davis of Styles Menswear in Bridgewater. His business rates have gone up from £3,000 a year to £9,000 a year. This new cost, before we even consider Labour's new jobs tax, puts his livelihood at risk, and he won't be alone. Paul's business has the double misfortune of being based in Eastover, where he has had to contend with the issue of extensive and lengthy roadworks. In Liberal Democrat-controlled Somerset, we have had a particular problem with various roadworks being scheduled at the same time and harming local businesses. It seems the Liberal Democrats know little and care less about the damage they are causing. The roadworks in Eastover started in October with a partial road closure. As if this wasn't bad enough, the council then decided to impose a full road closure in January, which is now set to continue until at least September. Ironically, it is on the council's Celebration Mile project, though to date there has been very little for local businesses to celebrate. This project has proved a hammer blow to many local businesses that have seen footfall collapse. Footfall in Bridgewater is down 400,000 on the last 12 months, mostly caused by the incompetent way that Somerset Council have handled this project. Now, I believe those businesses deserve our support. Businesses disproportionately affected by council actions should have the right to claim rates relief. And I would ask the Minister, when he replies, if he will consider this proposal. The situation in Eastover is now desperate, and I fear that in the coming months we will see more shops and businesses closing their doors for good. For it does seem that this Labour government, with the able assistance of Liberal Democrat councillors in Somerset, seem set on destroying those businesses. The truth is that despite claiming to be going for growth, everything this government does seem designed to achieve is the opposite. Minister, businesses in Bridgewater are suffering and need your help now. Thank you.